Okay. So, Nicola, thanks for joining us from Hampshire. So the intention of this, I'll go through what we're going to cover, and we've got an hour, might go a bit over time, and it's about external Basti. It's about a very specific Ayurveda therapy, and there's so many therapies and body treatments in Ayurveda, and it's for those who want to develop a capacity to utilize this therapy in their own practice or establish a practice if they're new to making a practice. So before we start, yes. So I will chant a mantra. If you know how to feel your pulse, you can feel your pulse. If you don't know how to feel your pulse, you can do anything to de-excite just for a moment before I start the presentation. We'll invoke Dhanvantari, who on the right you can see is the the expression of perfect health. It's the perfect health aspect of consciousness. It's a consciousness phenomena of health and of healing. And that's kind of what it looks like personified as this beautiful, masculine, symmetrical energy of holding certain tools like a disc to slay demons or diseases, and a leech to take out the toxins from blood, and a pot of nectar, and a conch shell which holds the sound, the knowledge of the Vedas. Namami Danvantarimadi Devam Sura Sure Vandita Para Padmam Loke Jararuk Bhayam Mrityunasham Datara Nisham Viviroshadinam. Namami Danvantarim. Namaskar to Danvantari, this perfect health aspect of consciousness. Adi Devam, he's the first celestial being, the first Devata who came out of as you can see in the picture, he's coming out of the Milky Ocean, the ocean of pure consciousness. Adi Deva, the first Deva. Sura Sura. Sura Asura. Vandita. The Asuras, the demons, and the celestial beings, the Devatas, Vandita, worship his Padapadmam, the lotus feet. Loke jera ruk bhaya mrityu nasham. Loke in this world. Jera, aging. Ruk, disease. Fear. Loke jera ruk bhaya mrityu nasham. And mortality. This, when we invoke Dhanvantari, this health aspect of consciousness, it removes the fear of aging, of disease, loke jara ruk bhaya mrityu, and mortality. So we will inevitably age and even get some imperfections and some imbalances in the body. But when that fear is removed of aging or of disease, then longevity is very effective. And then loke jara ruk bhaya mrityu nasham datara nisham vividoshadinam. He is the creator of the Oshadi, the Brahma, of of all the substances that heal. So I start this with invoking that consciousness, that energy which brings healing. And on the left is like a ceremony for Dhanvantari with my teacher there in the photo. So today we're going to cover what is Basti, a little very quick about me and our clinic in case you don't know. We're going to go through Bastis. We're going to go through the back Bastis, the Chakra Basti, which is the center, the Nabi, the navel, the Nimnodara Basti, which is the Apanavayu area, Yakrit Basti liver, lung Basti pupus, pulse, how important it is to Ayurveda treatments, medicated oils. Just a brief note on how there's so many medicated oils in Ayurveda, and one of the parts of the course we offer is to equip you with a herbal dispensary. Gradually, you can learn to acquire your own herbal dispensary so you can apply for different patients, different circumstances, different therapies and conditions, and talk about the continuity of support and the community that we create with the courses we run and with the trainings we run and the continual aspect of that. Then I'm going to show you an ethical enrollment. So for those who are interested to enroll, I'm going to ethically enroll you in this course if you're interested to join it, and then the investment that's associated with the course. and then a special offer for you today, plus a free offering for you guys joining today as a thank you, and then a Q&A. So if you have questions, please keep for the end, and we'll ask them towards the end of the hour. So what is Basti or Vasti? Technically it's Vasti, but now it's become so commonly Basti that I like to use Basti, so does my teachers. Some very fundamentalists will just say Vasti, but both work. So Basti means to hold or to keep. It also is the word for the bladder, for the pelvis, for particularly the bladder area or the below the navel. So there's so many meanings of all Sanskrit words, but as you can see here on the left in the cartoon which my friend drew while at Panchakarma, that's a enema bag, and traditionally before there was plastic, which we do now with enema bags, there was literally they would use a bladder of an animal, and that bladder would be the sac cleaned out to hold the medicated oils or the medicated liquids. And then through that bladder, they would attach usually some stalk of a lotus or some plant that is a cylinder tube, and then stick it in the rectum, give the basti. That's internal basti, to hold, to keep. The person needs to hold that oil inside their body after it's administered. The other type of basti is what we're going to talk about today, is external basti. As you can see in the photo, it's a woman with a nabi basti, a chakra basti, and that's very effective. We're going to go through that for fertility and very profound treatment. This woman, in fact, did it for fertility. But that's holding medicated oil and keeping medicated oil over the chakra, the nabi chakra, the navel. So quickly, just about Vital Veda, a very, very clinic. This I just put for fun. This is like when we started out, the business card when I started just over 10 years ago. And that's kind of my first treatment space doing Abhyanga below, you can see. And one of my first, I think the first lecture I ever did over 10 years ago. And of course, Abhyanga is the very effective way to start off an Ayurvedic clinic. And I noticed that. And I still do notice that with my students and my colleagues, because it's a very effective treatment to imbue bliss in the client. And they get this leaving with this profound feeling of bliss. And then after that, they're wanting to know more and they're inspired and like, oh, okay, what else can we do? Tell me more. And then they'll perhaps indulge in a consultation, because before they weren't really interested in doing the effort for themselves. Consultation requires the client to take action and actually change their life, rather than just lying on a table and receiving a very blissful experience. Gives that, it's easy. I don't have to do anything, but then that inspires them. So that's a big thing of, for me, starting out a clinic, was that the Abhyanga, attracting the clients and inspiring the clients. And then ghee, as you see, I think mostly every Ayurvedic practitioner, when they start out, they start making ghee and selling it and sharing it. So Abhyanga, of course, we offer, and there's so much aspects to Vital Veda. I'm sure you may know if you're joining. We have education and podcast and courses and retreats and bringing the doctors out from India. So today I'm just going to share a bit about treatments, because this aspect of this presentation is on treatments. So we have clinics, and also we refer to other people around the world, because we have just a clinic in a couple cities, maybe more, depending on the traveling. But what we do with our clients, because most of them are online, when treatments are required, which are kind of a more advanced treatment, first we do the herbs, the diet and the lifestyle. But so if someone needs an Abhyanga or needs a Basti or Takradara, Shirodara, we have local practitioners around that are using the good methods, and we share it with them. So we refer to them. So Abhyanga, of course, we offer very profound treatment. Everyone knows Ayurvedic massage, as I just spoke a bit about it. Takradara, Shirodara, very effective. We primarily do Takradara, unless it's someone with blood pressure issues or it's very cold. Very effective treatment for the mind. For those who don't know, like it's harmonizing the two brain hemispheres and working on the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, especially the hypothalamus, especially Takradara, which you can see the man getting. Both of these people are getting Takradara. On the left is making the Takradara, which is medicated buttermilk, and it's very effective to treat the hypothalamus, so hormonal issues and hot flushes and skin conditions and insomnia. It's more powerful, that particularly depending on the herbs used, for the insomnia and the sleep issues rather than the Shirodara. Shirodara has its own applications for certain neurological disorders. Anyway, not too much on this treatment. This is not for today, but just giving you an idea. Lepam and Dupams. Here on the left, we have a paste for skin disorders. And then on the right, I'm doing a similar paste, but for shingles. This is a very effective treatment for shingles, particularly as you may know, for any of your clients, shingles can be incredibly painful and itchy and uncomfortable. And this is very effective. Certain herbalized lepam, which means paste, and then fumigating it with certain herbalized smoke, which we just recently created this product on our website of buying the herbs to put on some coal, and you can fumigate certain conditions, certain different fumigations, but this is for shingles. Patrapalti Pindasvera, this is me harvesting the herbs locally, certain Ayurvedic herbs and certain Australian herbs grown with the Ayurvedic properties, eucalyptus, comfrey, camphor, kanchana, kakamachi, nirgundi, so many things that we can get in around the world. Eranda also is an Ayurvedic herb growing wildly all around the world. So we look at the herb, how can we come across any herb and understand the gunas, the qualities of the herb as per the Ayurvedic knowledge, and then apply that. Plus, we will mix the poultice with, as you can see here, with the powder, and then of course, we first have to purify the leaves. That's a big part of knowledge which has been lost, purification of herbs. We purify, and as you can see here in the middle, I don't know if you can see my mouse, the powder of concentrated many herbs, that's from India. And we make poultices and we bang them on people. No, not bang them, pamper them, and very good for pain. And it's a Svedana treatment. It's a sweating treatment, typically done after Abhyanga, then Basti, and then this, or just Abhyanga, then this, or just Basti, then this. So there's so many treatment combinations we can do. Very good. We had one patient recently, like I spoke to her last week, who's having treatments with someone else that I referred to them. And she has a very bad, kind of like fibromyalgia, autoimmune associated conditions, very much pain, very stiff in her body. And this treatment has, she's getting many treatments and many internal herbs. And this is actually one of the most effective things, which is helping her, which is great because it's all local herbs which they're using. Now, external busties, which is the topic of today. So before Basti, always we activate the body with massage. So in all these photos, you can see we're doing a back massage, a type of back treatment. Soleil, my wife, is doing to the neck, and then I'm doing to the rest of the back in the photos. So that is very important before the treatment that we do that. And in the course that we're running a 5-day course in London and a 4-day course in Byron Bay area, Australia. We teach massage. We teach parts of Abhyanga because, for example, before the back busties, we need to activate the body so that it's open, that the shrotas, the channels are open, ready to receive the basti. And when we put the basti on, when we seal it and we fill the oil, it penetrates deeper and it's more effective. Some people, unfortunately, they do a massage after, which is disturbing to the physiology. And I'll explain that later when I go through some things which I learned which aren't so good to practice. So before different busties, we do different, it's not necessarily on the part, like when we're doing a chakra basti on the belly, like you saw before, we don't massage the belly before. There's certain other feet, like the feet and the ankles, certain parts of the body correlate with the part which we're going to apply the basti. So here is the most common basti by far, not by far, that we administer. And you can imagine why. It's the back. So kati means lumbar, lower back. Prishta means thoracic. Griva means neck, also including the scapular shoulder blade area, which you can see. So as you know, majority of people have some back issues, neck issues, Even people in their 20s, 30s, they definitely have it. We live a sedentary lifestyle, blah, 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 blah. You all know why. So this is the very, very effective treatment and very popular, very good at preventing surgeries, whether it's disectomy or cortisone injections, all these things which people go for, which hopefully they can learn about Ayurveda first or learn about alternative therapies, because these surgeries and these injections, they have a place for sure. From hip replacements to knee replacements, like they all have a place. And I have some patients who have had wonderful results with these surgeries, and I'm in support of them. But they should not be done first. They should be a last resort. And even if the patient is getting a surgery, like for example, hip surgery, these treatments or hip replacement, these treatments can be very helpful to help them recover, to help the surgery be more effortless and more effective for the surgeon, more frictionless, less obstacles. These help. So many things that I can, sciatica, here we have especially this Basti on the L4, L5 typically, or these can be placed wherever the patient has the imbalance or the condition, due to MRIs, due to the good pulse physicians, the pulse diagnosis. We can see which exact vertebrae is having the conditions, whether it's degeneration, osteopenia, osteoporosis. The bone density scan will give every specific vertebrae a bone density level of it, with the levels, the T and the V. So yeah, very effective for degeneration of the spine, general degeneration, also unblocking the nerves. As you can see, that this black paste is something that we commonly use. Also, it's a certain paste to activate certain marmas, which are the storehouses of concentrated energy, and allowing the energy, the prana, to flow. And as you can see, this one with the spoon, this is an old photo when I started out, but that griva is directly on the neck, on the cervical area. So that's good for that. But that needs certain, definitely needs certain caution, and needs to be practiced under guidance. And the neck, the cervical, because it's near the head and it's that kapha sthana, the area of kapha, it can create excess kapha in the head, which can be experienced as heaviness, congestion, excess mucus, because you're putting oil, which is kapha, vardaka, kapha vardaka treatment, which increases kapha there. So it has to be done with a certain sequence. And I'll speak about the sequence of Bastis. It's a big thing I teach in this course, is how can you create programs for the clients, for your clients, because it's not just like, okay, I got a neck issue, come for a Griva Basti on your cervical spine where the MRI said you have a C5 degenerative condition. No, it has to be done certain, moving up the spine, allowing the whole spine, not just going to one place. It's like if someone once came to me with some back issue, I think it was below the rib cage, and they had this treatment where all the person did is treat the back, that area. But then he got some other blockages. So actually it was coming from the pelvis and the groin. So we need to consider the whole spine and the whole body when treating these things. So yeah, crit liver bust. Oh, one more thing I'll say is with the back busties, a lot of you probably know, and you maybe many of you may have learned, you just to do the kati basti or just to do one basti. So actually, this is a thing which it's not hard to do an extra two busties and a total of three, or here you've got a total of two. Depends, but three does the whole spine, and with the right training, you can do it effectively and efficiently and safely. So treating the whole spine deserve it. That's what the patients deserve. So Yakrit liver basti. Okay, Yakrit means liver, and pretty simple basti. On, as you can see, just below the rib cage. Again, a different medicated oil for this to cleanse the liver, and it's even related with the eyes. For eye conditions, this can be very helpful, this treatment. And particularly, it can be coupled with even an eye basti, or can even be coupled with certain rosewater pads on the eyes, which is always beautiful to do in all treatments. But liver basti, not just for the liver, for cleansing, but also for building. It's now so common, the non-fatty, the non-alcoholic fatty livers are very prevalent right now, and due to a variety of factors which are impacting the liver. So chakra hridaya and basti, this is very common also, probably the second most common after the back bastis in our clinic. And I could speak for so long about this, but when you look at the chakra, the navel, the nabi, it's the center of the body. If any of you have heard of the word Brahmastan, it's in the Vedic architecture. The Brahmastan is the center of the house. It's like the Bindu. It is the Bindu. If you have a circle or a swastika or some structure, the center is the Bindu, the center point. And from that center point manifests all the energy. So you are born by your umbilical cord. The mother is born in the navel. Through the umbilical cord, you're getting the nourishment. You initiate. If anyone knows the Vedas, Vishnu is born from Brahma. It comes from Vishnu's navel. The creator comes from the navel of Vishnu. So this creative energy is in the center, is in that navel, the nabi, and it's very powerful for fertility. That's why the creative energy, and for energy, immunity, ojas. It's very blissful, very transcendental, very spiritual experience doing this treatment. And the Nabi chakra, that Nabi, that is the center of all connections. All the nerve plexuses end in your navel. The blood vessels end there in the umbilical cord. That's why it's so important, it is so important and it's effective to delay the umbilical cutting of the baby, of the infant. Even 5 minutes makes a huge difference. And then even 2 hours makes a massive. You're getting extra blood, extra white blood cells, immune cells. So powerful. And Basti, remember I said in the beginning, Basti also means bladder. So here at the top, you can see the man with the second Basti, which is the Basti, and there's a very profound event of how this treatment came about and my relationship to this particular, the Basti, also known as Nimnodara Basti, which means lower abdomen. So very good for the prostate, bladder, fertility, pelvis, apanavayu, menstrual issues, so many things. And then on the left, so you can see the woman on the right, she's got 3 bastis. She's got the Basti, the Chakra Basti, and also the Hridaya Basti. That needs to be practiced with caution, Hridaya Basti. Also the man on the bottom left, where I'm pouring you can see me pouring the oil in a nice dara, a nice flow into his heart. That definitely needs to be practiced with caution because the heart, Sada Kapita, not only physical heart, emotional heart. Definitely to monitor the way that the patient releases their emotions or it comes out or expresses their emotions. It can stir up their emotions. It can stir up any trauma or something. So very much caution needs to be with the Hridaya Basti, but definitely chakra and Basti very effective. So Pupus Basti also very good. Prana, like with the certain oils that has some katu, which is pungency, and also certain oils that has some lekkana guna, which is scraping away the ama. Beautiful way, beautiful treatment. You can feel it. Maybe you can see it in the photo, just getting that warm to hot medicated oil on the lungs and creating that space, opening, dilating the channels with the heat. Very beautiful treatment. Very useful after COVID, whether all these people had the lingering viruses in the lungs and some difficulty breathing. It was very good. So those are all. Would like to access the microphone. Okay, you can use the microphone. So those are all treatments that we're teaching in the course. So I'll just, yeah. So just again, we're teaching back Bastis, Yakrit Basti, Chakra and Hridaya and Basti. Hridaya, when we're not exactly teaching it for you to do in person, we will explain that in the course. Pupas Basti. Now, these are some other Bastis which I just want to share with you, because these will come later in what I teach. You may already know it. Janubasti is much more challenging well, it's more complicated to actually seal the dough on the patient's body because the other areas are quite flat, but this you have a knee where it's not as easy. It's like you're working, trying to build a house on a mountain. In fact, you in Panchakarma, if you've ever done India, like there's not a great success rate of having a sealed basti. It's a common thing in Panchakarmas in India, and I say that because it's a bit more sloppy in India. But even in the Western end, definitely if you're learning this, you will start out, you'll get leaks. You won't have a proper seal of the dough on the body. But we speak about that. Anyway, point is, genoplasty is a bit harder. We will teach that later, but it is a very effective treatment. As you can see, Sandra on the left said, I had pain and troubles with my knee for quite a while. I was in excruciating pain for 2 weeks waiting for him to get back, and then just the pain is almost gone, completely gone. I haven't felt this way in a long time. And also this man, Justin at the top, was suffering for years. Yeah. So it's a very, very good treatment. These are all good treatments. And one of the key factors of it is the oils used as well. That's one thing that's different. So here I have a video. Oh, yeah, here we go. So this is my wife pouring medicated ghee into my eyes for netrobasti. Very important treatment. One of the most important treatments today due to the epidemics of macular degeneration and premature blindness due to dry eyes. Such a crucial treatment. And as you can imagine, much harder than uh, than uh, than even the genoplasty. It's not an easy thing to make this treatment. And at the moment in my clinic, I'm the only one who can do it. My therapist can't do it. They just leak. So here we have Simon on the left, opening his eyes, moving his eyeballs around, and letting the ghee seep in. It's one of the Ayurvedic treatments which is, in general, not enjoyable. There's not many Ayurvedic treatments which are not enjoyable. They're all very blissful. Every single basti, except for Netra Basti, is blissful. It's like opening your eyes underwater, but it's medicated ghee. And opening your eyes underwater isn't that comfortable, right? So, however, some people like myself love this treatment because it is nourishing the brain. It's lubricating the brain. You can feel the kapha in the brain, and it is very blissful for me and other people. Some people find that. But if, anyway. Okay, so another thing I teach is how to integrate, and this is what really this is the first time we're offering a Basti course, and it's been in the making, and it's been requesting for a couple of years or 3 years or so. Before we were just offering Abhyanga, and the point of it is to expand the dynamics of your offerings, expand the dynamics of your treatments. So how can you integrate? We had I believe it was a chiropractor. So yeah, here we go, chiropractor in Hampshire. Massage therapists, Reiki therapists we've had, beauticians we've had. So many things you can integrate, and of course all the Abhyanga therapists and the Ayurveda therapists. So here I'm doing sound healing with the didgeridoo, which, by the way, it does require some sensitivity and protocols because it's quite intense to activate the sound after these treatments and the delicacy of it. So this is the point, especially Abhyanga, followed by a Basti is very effective. And so many combinations that we'll discuss, and big part of the course is like the business aspect and structuring your clinic and structuring your offerings and different combinations and different ways that you can create treatment plans and treatment programs to offer. So, and just here more things we do in Ayurveda, at Vital Veda. This is me teaching treatment to people who basically have never heard of Ayurveda. It was a unique circumstance. This is Pumsavana, my wife receiving the treatment, which is for not only for fertility, but for the gender of a child. This is Vamana, Emesis, big topic. Here we have a lepam with some leaves and leech therapy, Rakta Mokshana, very effective. Snehapana, drinking medicated ghee, which has to be done in extreme caution. And here is talam therapy on the head. So lessons I learned are just a few of them. So I went to Ayurvedic college in Australia, although my teachers told me not to go study anywhere else, but I still did because I wanted a certificate. And I was happy I went, but I learned some things which I had to unlearn. And I see it in other people. In general, Ayurveda is not that dangerous. pretty safe. But there are some when you start getting involved with marma and even some of these treatments, it can get a little bit some things which can create some damage. But overall, you're just not going to be doing something as effective as you can. And that's something that I just personally am passionate about. And just I like to be authentic. I have a strong Saturn in my chart, so I like to, do things with potency and authenticity. So, for some people doing one eye instead of two eyes, which is understandable. It's much easier because the face is more flat. Using the spoon is like you can see in my Kati Basti at the top. That's just when I started out. It's it's much not as good as using the sponge and different methods. And people have different bowls, and one's very, very hot oil, and that's how they regulate the temperature. And some things rolling the dough like this, like just even the way they make the dough, like things that I've witnessed in colleges. And by the way, I taught at a college. I taught diploma in Ayurveda in a college for a few years, and I've seen in the industries what's been taught. And certain things like after Takradara or Shirodara, massaging the head, and that can be damaging, and I've seen it damage people. You need to, after a Takradara or a Shirodara, this treatment on the bottom left, you need to be left in silence. You've had this very transcendental, peaceful treatment. And then what one of the colleges teaches is wake the patient up. You need to get them, out of that state so they can drive home. But no, they need to be kept that. You've just harmonized their brain hemispheres. They need to be really maintained in silence, and certain way to remove the oil from the head and then wrap them. So there's more. But before learning any body therapy, and when deepening your experience of Ayurveda and your practice of Ayurveda, always the pulse. The pulse is the gateway to enhancing your super subtle sensory perception. How refined are your senses? How powerful are your hands? Because I can touch someone and give them a massage, and someone next to me can do the exact same thing with their hands, same technique. But the difference is in the prana that comes out of the hand, the hasta vasi, the healing hands. And out of the panch indriya, the five senses, the sense of touch is considered the most powerful. The sense of touch is the king of the senses, because the touch is vayu, vata. It's the biggest. It covers everything. And the way to enhance your super subtle sensory perception and your super subtle sensory ability to give prana with the hands, with touch, is through pulse. So I teach pulse. There is, with the Byron course we're running, it's a bit more advanced. So I'm really almost haven't yet, but it's basically going to become a prerequisite to learn pulse with either me or the Rajus before, if you haven't already, because we're going to be going deeper. And yeah, so pulse, of course, Heyam Dukam Anagatam means avert the danger which has not yet come. When you're feeling your own pulse, or the pulse of a patient even, you can avert the danger which has not yet come, because pulse allows you to intervene and realize so early on in the disease process, like before it even manifests, before the client can even feel it in their body, it's showing in the pulse. So here we have photos of self-pulse at the self-Marama retreat, the Marama retreat, which we ran last year, and we're running again. A very, very special retreat, very unique. And then eventually, after self-pulse, the group practice of pulse, and then you can learn. Then you can be feeling the pulse of your clients. So there's a whole process of pulse, and it has to be a process. It has to be experiential knowledge and done in a certain, very sequential way. That's another unique thing of how many people, and I'm sure most of you on this call have learned the pulse, but you don't actually get it. And because a lot of the people, the schools are including it in the curriculum, because people think of Ayurveda, they think of pulse, and that's actually due to my teacher, Dr. Raju. He spread pulse so much. But the way that he wants people to learn, and even he used to teach pulse with the Maharishi movement, TM, and the way he said, like, he taught to thousands, hundreds of thousands, and thousands of doctors. but hardly anyone got it. And the reason is because he did too much. He would do a weekend course. But now he stands strong in his approach, which is the way he learned it, is you practice over the months, over the years, and one bit at a time, really master it before moving on to the next. So very, very important part of Ayurveda practice and about learning with me and actually getting it. And it's very achievable to get. It's very easy. It's very easy, the pulse method I teach, and very effective. So medicated oils, so many different medicated oils that are used for different applications. Different busties require different oil, different circumstances. Do you want to remove dhamma? Do you want to nourish the body? Do you want to detox the body? And yes, it's beautiful oils. And one of the reasons why our treatments are very effective is the oils. So how this course initiated, I would like to introduce you to Gemma. I don't even know if she's on this call. I can't see much, but
I'm
if
here.
Gemma, you can unmute and just share, like, yeah, how this happened, if you're
Can you
there.
hear me?
Yes,
Can you
we
hear me?
can.
Hi. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you for your time. Thank you for preparing this presentation. It was already incredible, and it's just 45 minutes. So I'm personally super intrigued to learn more. So how this came about, I am also an Ayurvedic practitioner here in the UK. I can recognize some other practitioners that I trained with, which is really nice, and then some other new faces. So as a practitioner here in the UK, I have found that access to continuing our professional development in an authentic manner is not always readily available to us, especially after we've already trained 3 years as a practitioner. Broadening our skills in an authentic way to expand what we have to offer, it's not so available. I don't know if other people have found that. I know that I speak on behalf of the practitioners that are in my class, in our group. A lot of the time we haven't felt supported to move forward, and guided by a teacher. Um, I fortunately have had the opportunity to travel to India, Sri Lanka over the last 4 years, and we do have access to training there. But finding something that's truly authentic, it's not always available, especially as yoga, Ayurveda become more popular in the West. It's harder, I feel, to find this kind of like raw, authentic knowledge from a trusted source. And following Dylan over the last few years, when I had the opportunity to meet with him and ask him to come to London, it was because as well, the training that he's had, the dedication that Dylan has put into Ayurveda, preserving, the authentic teachings of Ayurveda with the Raju family, it would be an absolute honor to have him here in the UK and learn from him not only the Basti, but 5 days in a small group with Dylan, we can ask him anything that we need, any issues that we have in our current practice with our patients, anything that we want to query, we will have that one-on-one opportunity to be with Dylan. Also, he's so dedicated to his spiritual practice too. And I feel just being in his energy will be very inspiring for all of us to touch on that aspect of Ayurveda and bring that into our patient care. As he mentioned, the importance of touch and learning the importance of touch and bringing that into our practice, I think will be so valuable for all of us. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to having him here. And I know that so many other people are also excited for Dylan to come. And I chose to do it in London because I know that the major Ayurvedic schools are also in London. So I had to choose between doing something non-residential or local. So we chose to do it in London. The place is in Islington, which is just off the Victoria line. So it's pretty central. And I thought that it would be the most accessible place for the majority of people. As Dylan mentioned, it's a 5-day course. So yeah, it's a little bit more accessible. It's not as long as the Abhyanga, which would be 7 days. Again, would increase the cost and also time commitment away from work. And yeah, as well as doing the Basti, we will have access to learning about the self-pulse diagnosis, which is something that even in my experience and traveling in India and Sri Lanka and working with other doctors, I've never even really touched upon. So having the opportunity, I'm sure I can speak for many of us here in the UK, is a really special experience. Um, and all of the theory that will also come with the Basti therapy. So the Mama theory, again, in my own practice, it's not something that we've touched upon, but is really important for incorporating into our practice. So yeah, I think that's everything that and also broadening the accessibility that we have to more herbs. I know that a lot of us feel kind of restricted with the knowledge that we have, and we can do a lot with what we've got. But that access, even just to more medicated herbs, which Dylan will give us, will help and give us more option to work with different individuals. So yeah, I'm just super grateful for this opportunity, and yeah.
Yeah, the important thing is using yukti, which means what do you have available and what can you use using in the moment. So definitely there's with the medicated oils and the herbs, there's different options. Yes, you can get things imported, you can get from India, but what if you have someone tomorrow who wants to start and needs to start? What can you do in 24 hours? What can you acquire? Certain concentrated herbs mixing with a more general oil, which is easy to get. So all the different circumstances of how to create, how to get the different herbs definitely is important. And wherever you are in the world, in the community, in wherever you are. So, because of course Ayurveda is every universal. So using Desha Kalapatra, applying to what's local. Thank you, Gemma. So, yes. So just to emphasize in the end, so continuity of support and community is really big, as Gemma just said. Like, the way that I learn and I've learned and I continue to learn is through being intimate with my teacher, and there's asking questions, asking about my clients. Oh, this came up, and witnessing him. Like what Gemma really expressed to me is, can you do some like, can we sit in consultations or can we witness you doing consultations? So, maybe that will come up in some way. And that is a very, very good way to learn. So, of course, we have continuity of support with groups like WhatsApp groups, sharing case studies. Oh, this came up. Like I can say from my past groups, it's very, very active and very engaging and very, very helpful to see that other people are going through similar things and to see, oh, that's interesting. This person had this client. Why is this guy getting headaches every time I give him a treatment? So many things like that. We also do follow-up Zoom calls. So after the course, we'll have a follow-up call of you. Another thing I teach you, part of the theory and stuff, is being creative in your business development and expansion of your clinic and your offerings, as I spoke about before. So really part of my intention for these courses is for you to leave equipped and confident in offering this. And that includes collaborations, how to collaborate with different ways. An important part to address is the legal, the insurance, your scope of practice. So certifications, all those things, accreditations. Some people will do this who don't have any accreditation. That's totally fine. So just navigating all that world, which isn't my favorite area, but we have to deal with it. So, and it's very possible to deal with it. And then, like for example, if you want to repeat a course, if you want to go to London and then go to Byron Bay, Australia and do it a second time, there's like a heavily discounted rate. We just cover costs. So you can, as long as we offer these courses, you can repeat them as much as you want for just covering costs. I think it's like half price or something. So this is the continuity of community. So now I'm going to ethically enroll you into a professional training in external Basti Ayurveda treatments, taught with unique potency. So this training is for you if and only if you feel confident that it will elevate your practice. Or if you don't have a practice and you want to start a new venture, that it will provide that and elevate that, that it will enrich your skills as a therapist and enhance the depth and effectiveness of your offerings. So, what ethical enrollment means? So, uh, we believe every individual should join our course with clarity, confidence, and alignment with their values and aspirations. And the way we ensure that is, does this course align with your goals and vision as a practitioner? You can also think like, if you're an established practitioner, when you're starting out, would this be something which is resonating? That's the ethical. Like if someone's brand new to this, you are a practitioner already. Some of you have been practicing for over a decade or whatever, I don't know. But if someone was brand new and wanted to learn Ayurveda, which is also invited, absolutely. I'm big about teaching people brand new and very experienced. Is this ethical for them? Are the treatments taught in the course supported by proven results and a rich Ayurvedic lineage? I'm not going to answer these questions. Have we given you the time and space to reflect on whether it's right for you? And we'll go into when the registrations close, and so you can see whether it's enough time and space for you. Will this training enhance your ability to provide profound, effective care for your clients? Does the value delivered through this training far exceed the financial investment required? And think about the depth of knowledge, the skills, and the opportunities you will acquire. And will completing this course leave you feeling inspired, enriched, and confident in your ability to offer these transformative therapies? So here is the courses. It's in London. This is the initiate. Thank you, Gemma, for initiating it. So London's 5 days, and there's the prices. There's an early bird price of £790 or full price of £990, and the early bird is available till February the 19th. So in a month or so, a bit over a month. And then Northern Rivers, New South Wales, Byron Bay area, it's 4 days, and you can see the early bird available till April 21. All these courses are intensive, absolute, especially the Basti course. I'm teaching you 4 or more Bastis. Like it's going to be full on, big days. But there's a beauty of intensity in Ayurveda. Like when you do initiation, when you do a training in Vedic systems, Vedic sciences, it has that aspect of it being like a rite of passage. The intensity is not only to like really you can absorb the knowledge and the techniques and the practice, but it's like that initiation. So we are also offering a Abhyanga course, which I thought I would just mention. And why I'm mentioning it is because we do have an offer like already. This has nothing to do with this call, but if you do 2 courses this year, you get 2 personalized one-on-one health and mentoring sessions with me. So these one-on-one can be for whether you want it for your health, like you want to be a patient of mine and consult me, or you already are, or you want me to mentor you in your personal business or clinic and practice, that's also there. So we've got, as you can see in Northern Rivers, we have straight after the Basti course, back to back, we have an Abhyanga training. And there's a few people who are doing both of those. And that's a really beautiful, deep immersion. Or you can be a bit more gentle on yourself and break it up and do, for example, the Abhyanga course in February and then a Basti course in either London or in Northern Rivers. We even have one person who may be she's doing the Basti course in New South Wales, but she also wants to do it in London. So and it's good because it's we're learning a lot, and Basti is a lot of practice. At Abhyanga, we have the time in that course to really get it, like especially the Perth one, which is an extra day. We have more time, but the Bastis, it will be a lot of follow-up and practice, particularly because we're learning a handful of different Basti treatments. Nevertheless, I want you to leave feeling fully good. So that's the thing. If this Basti webinar was not enough to explain this program, there are free 15-minute discovery calls the first time we're offering this. They are limited. I don't have many, but it's more to just explore like, who are you? Where are you coming from? You're a practitioner, you're a student, you're wanting to just brand new to Ayurveda and you want to have an aspiration to be an Ayurvedic practitioner, so I can talk with you about that and see if this training is right for you. It might not be, but hopefully with this call, this lecture, this presentation, you shouldn't need that. So here is the link. And Gemma, if you haven't already, like, can put in the chat. And that is, if you want to sign up, you can do that. There's the link. And in that link, you will find the call to a discovery call if that's what you want. So just an exclusive bonus for you guys today, for joining, because I'm happy you came. The first five people to sign up from this webinar, and we have the list of the attendees, and that includes those recording. If you watch the recording quickly, you get one of the mentoring sessions with me, a one-on-one session with me that can be used for health or for your business mentoring. And if you happen to do both courses and you already got the 2-3, then you get an extra third one from this. So those are bonuses, if you want to take action and want to be proactive in this journey of you expanding your offerings. Yeah. So yeah, that's how to sign up. There's the link. Gemma will put the link in the chat, and you can just go to that, and you have to complete a form, and you can join the courses. And after these dates, by the way, February 19th and 21st, the links won't work. You won't get the early bird price. So that's till then. So thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to open for some questions. We got about 10 minutes. And yeah, if anyone has any questions on anything, it can be on the course, it can be on Basti's. Just you can unmute yourself and ask. Nothing?
I'll ask one.
Yes.
What's
Becky?
hi Dylan, what's the dough made out of?
So the dough we use is basically just the most processed, ultra processed white flour you can get. I was taught, and people are taught to use urad flour. Sorry, white wheat flour. Wheat flour. I was taught to use urad, which is black gram, which is much more sticky, and it doesn't it ferments very quickly. And I use a little bit of that for the eye treatments, and yeah, just the eye treatments, because it helps. It's extra sticky. But the good thing with the Basti, and it definitely takes practice to learn how to make and seal, and even kneading the dough takes 10 minutes. Like everyone knows, kneading dough, it's not the easiest thing. And basically you can reuse that dough on the same patient for 7 days. We keep it in a fridge, in a Tupperware, unless it's very hot weather. Sometimes it won't last that long, but you can keep it can last up to 7 days. And obviously you only keep the dough per patient. You don't mix doughs with different clients. But with the urad flour, the black gram legume, it is not possible. It will ferment much quicker, and you won't get to use it. And it's not as easy actually to deal with. So yeah, processed wheat flour. That's it.
Thank you.
And that's the best thing. I've tried goggles. People have tried to design goggles for the eye treatment, because the eye treatment is not an easy treatment. Leaking is very common, but nothing beats dough. So Dr. Monica is saying, I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner from India. How to gain career in Ayurveda in Australia? Please guide me. Yeah, so one thing is scope of practice, which we talk about, like legalities, and then you can gain a career wherever you want. That's the type of discussions we have of how can you offer things in a way that you can make a career out of it. Chan is asking, what Basti is best for skin diseases? Skin diseases, it can be with the liver Basti, but there's other treatments and internal treatments, which is for that. If there is even chakra Basti, if some blockage is there, but it's not exact, depending on the skin disease, even that can be one of the contraindications for Bastis. If the person has a highly inflammatory skin disease, they're not going to do well with some of these medicated oils being held over their body. Thanks for the information. I will review the dates to see if possible. Okay. Tried the first time with gluten-free flour, what I had available. Do not recommend. Yeah, you can actually use any flour, mostly, but things. So someone's asking about endometriosis. Yeah, like endometriosis, inflammation in the genitourinary tract of women. It's certain herbs and especially banana treatment can be very effective to quickly do this. And definitely there's things that can be done, but I'm not going to go into it today. Certain diet and herbs and certain oil applications inside the yoni, depending on the person, will reflect the certain oil. So yeah, consultation will be best for that. We'll look into the course and the dates. Payment plans. Yes, there are payment plans. It's when you select the link and you go to the checkout, there is a deposit. You can put a deposit. And if that's still like generally not enough, like it means it's not enough of a payment plan, uh just putting a deposit and paying the rest later, and you can speak to it, you can email our staff and we can sort something out. So yeah, as Gemma said, like the reason we made the Byron courses shorter and everything we made, even the Basti course short. Ideally, I would teach this over 8 days, to be honest. But we're really now with the current situation and cost of everything in general, we're trying to make it. We're trying to budget your time and also the fee more. So we're trying to condense into a more intensive so that you have less time away as well. Apart from making the dough and purchasing the oil, what other additional equipment would you need to purchase to practice? Yeah, it's not the oil's the main expense. Dough is very cheap, as I said, the most refined dough. And you need a pot to heat the oil up. You need a little cooking stove and then towels and the rest of stuff you'd have in a treatment room, massage table, towels, all that stuff. So it's not, it's mainly the oil is the main expense, which you can even make the client pay for it if you want. And they keep the oil, by the way. Once you use that oil for 7 days, some will absorb into the body and you will need to top up every day. But after, that oil is that client's oil. You can't use that anywhere else. So you give it to the client and they use it for their own massage. If it's a back busty, they can use that for their self back busty massage. If it's a certain belly oil, they can even use that for their head. So different oils, they will use themselves. But after 7 days, if it's a high quality medicated oil, that oil will be finished its efficacy. If someone's doing 14 days of treatments, you will need a new oil, brand new oil to give the potency. So thank you, everyone. That's it. If anyone has any other questions, now is your time to speak. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining. There will be a recording of this. I think you will all receive if you signed up. And you can share with anyone who'd be interested. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out to Gemma if you're in the UK and have questions. And if you're interested in the Australian offerings, you can reach out to Vital Veda on the contact form. So, yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you all for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
currently in Australia, but I'll practice this. Thank you all. Stop sharing and see you all. I want to see you. Okay. Jai Gurudev.